All right, so for this game, we have another sequencing game. So essentially, we have 5 positions to kind of work with here, and 5 elements to go into those positions. Nothing especially out of the ordinary. In fact, it's kind of nice that there's only 5 slots to play with. That kind of limits variability. The elements themselves happen to be F, G, P, S, and T. And I guess from there, the rules. So the first rule tells us that P has to go before G. Next, we're told that the sportswear must be before the truck, so S has to go before T. And lastly, fast food and sportswear have to be consecutive. So essentially, we already have the S on the board, so we can say that the F is going to have to go right next to that S. So we can say F and S are basically going to be consecutive. We just don't quite know the direction that they're going to go into. Now these two, I guess you can call them chains, these two sort of chains, they don't really connect, so they'll have to be separate, but chances are the block is probably going to be the biggest driving factor because we always need to kind of maintain 2 spaces for it. But let's take a look and see what we can do with the questions. This is probably not worth exhausting just because we don't have anything firm. So yeah, question number 6. How many of the commercials are there, any of which could be last? Well, essentially, we can kind of answer this outright, right? We know that G and T, they both could have gone last. So the best answer here is answer choice D. Next, question number 7. If the truck commercial is aired earlier than the granola commercial, then which of the following cannot be true? So for this, I guess let's kind of do this off board for a moment. So if the truck is before granola, we know that granola is still going to be after P, whatever that stands for, the pizza, and we know that T has to be after the FS block in some capacity. So really, all that really tells us is that G is basically going to be locked down, and then the rest of these guys will kind of shuffle. In fact, we can probably just do the rest of what we have right here. The question asks, which of the following now cannot be true? Answer choice A, fast food is second. Well, this could flip back and forth, so that arguably could be true. Answer choice B, granola is fourth, and no, that definitely can't happen right now because we know that granola has to go after everybody else. So the best answer to question number 7 then is B. Next, question number 8. If the pizza commercial is aired immediately before the truck commercial, so yeah, let's start this one off board first. So we can say that pizza is going to be right before the truck. So we're going to have essentially a PT block. Except, yeah, we can really build on this as well because we know that the G still has to go after the P and T still has to go after our FS block. This guy can just simply still shift. So we pretty much know exactly what's going to happen. These two are going to take the first 2 positions, and then in order, they're going to be followed by P, T, and G. So the question itself now asks, which of the following could be true? The truck is third? Well, no. Truck, in fact, has to be fourth at the moment. Answer choice B, sportswear is third. Well, no. S and F are going to shuffle between 1 and 2, but we don't know which one's going to be which, so B is out. Answer choice C, pizza is first. No, pizza will be third at the moment. Next, granola is fourth. No, granola's got to be last. And E, the fast food is second. Yes, that could be true, and that's what the question's asking. Since F and S are going to shuffle back and forth, we could have F in 2. The best answer to question number 8 then is E. Next, I guess we'll tackle the local questions first. So let's take a look at question number 10. If the granola and truck commercials are not consecutive, so essentially, for this scenario, G and T are going to have to be separated. Now, I guess the question becomes, what does that mean for us? Well, T is the more restrictive one. And I guess T only really has, in general, T only has 3 possibilities. He can only go into 3, 4, and 5. And I guess each of those seems like it'd be plausible, but they would all kind of start locking things down, right? Because if you put T into 3, then F and S would have to go into 1 and 2, and so on and so forth. So you know what? Worst case scenario, let's just kind of play this out. We only have 3 major plays here, and they're all going to be pretty restrictive. So we can say T is going to go here, or there, or there. Now, in the top scenario, we definitely know that F and S are going to split positions 1 and 2, which then forces P and G into 4 and 5 in order. Now, In the second scenario, what's going to happen? We know that, well, T can't be next to G, so basically G can't be in 5 or 3, so G gets stuck in 2. Which, actually, that's not going to work, is it now? Because at this point, we still have the FS block, and we're going to have to split that, so that's not a viable scenario. This actually ends up breaking, so it looks like in this scenario, T wouldn't be able to go 4th. And if T is in 5, what can we do here? Well, we know that G can't be next to it, so G can't be in 4, and P certainly can't be there either. So it's going to have to be basically the FS block splitting out positions 3 and 4, and then P and G will lock out 1 and 2. So let's take a look. The question asks, which of the following now could be true? A, fast food is last. Well, no, that definitely currently cannot happen, so answer choice A gets disqualified. Next, granola is 4th, and no, it's either 5 or 2, but certainly not 4. Next, P is in 3, and no, you'll notice that P is either in 4 or in 1, but definitely not 3. Next, sportswear is 2nd. Now that could actually happen over here, and the question is asking simply for what could be true, so that actually seems like a viable answer choice at the moment. Just in case, let's take a look at E. T4, no. T either has to go into 3 or 5. In fact, we said that can't actually work. So the best answer to question number 10 then becomes answer choice D. Lastly, question number 9. How many commercials are there, any one of which could be 2nd? Well, historically, with the little history that we have here, we've seen F and S can go 2nd and G can go 2nd, so that's at least 3 elements that could have gone 2nd. Now, between P and T though, so T definitely can't go 2nd, right? Because we know that T has to have F and S before it, so T is certainly going to be out of the question. And I guess the last question is really P. Could P go 2nd? And it doesn't look like it could, because if you place the P into the 2nd position here, then really there would be nobody who can go 1st, because G obviously has to go later, T obviously can't go 1st, and the FS block wouldn't be able to get in there because P is in the way, which means that it looks like P also could not go 2nd, which means there are 3 elements that could go 2nd. Best answer to question number 9 is C.